Bobby, did you sense any kind of a weight lifted over the last couple of days for these guys?
You want the guys to feel good, and it was a tough couple of weeks, and so to get a win and the way we did it, I think the guys fought really hard to get it and had to make really tough shots and big plays, and you know, a little bit of just happiness for them that they get to experience that. But you don't want to feel relieved at this point. I mean, there's you know, it's great that we won, but you know, we got to turn the page and move on.
After that Washington State loss, it probably felt long and hard. What kind of approach to take when you win the way you won in Oregon? Does that kind of maybe validation that you did take the right approach in that 3 days?
I mean, you just try and trust your instincts and try and read the room and see, you know, what the guys need and do the best job you can to do that. And that was, you know, my approach today and yesterday, just to, you know, hey fellas, that's great. You know, it's great for us. I think, you know, we have a chance to, you know, to start turning things around, but you know, we have to stick to what put us in a position to do that. That meant, you know, practicing well and preparing and everything. So I thought it was, you know, pretty good. And, you know, the guys the last 2 days have responded well in practice.
What were the most positive takeaways for you from that game?
I liked how we competed around the basket. Now I know that Kepnick got some putbacks and got some big baskets, but I thought, you know, Gaffney and Graham especially, just their presence, their altering shots and blocking shots was much needed. And the way they were able to finish around the basket as well, I think, you know, what Jay Heath brought to the game was certainly a positive sign for him and where he's at right now. And just the trust, you know, everyone kind of trusted each other, you know, in that game, especially Marion with the pass to DJ and DJ with the pass, and you know, we get the game winner, and you know, Jalen Graham again with a big offensive rebound. So like a lot of guys just doing a lot of little things that you hope you see that kind of leads to winning basketball.
After that Oregon game, among the players in the locker room, was there any sense of just like relief that, you know, this streak is over, or we clicked? Any of that feeling?
I think it was just happiness. I mean, the guys were, you know, Michelle was there. She was right outside the locker room.
It was loud.
It was loud, and guys were excited. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that, you know, especially after the Washington State game, that, you know, guys' self-esteem was down, like low. You know, anytime you play this game, a lot of what you identify yourself with is the sport that you play. So these guys were, you know, feeling really, really bad about themselves after that. So it felt good so that they got to enjoy themselves after the game and celebrate a little bit.
After the win, DJ praised you for sticking to what this team is all about. How important is it to you to stick to what you know, and how hard is it after a losing streak like that?
I think it's easy to just start lashing out and pointing fingers and blaming everyone and trying different things. You know, let's not play man defense anymore. Let's get a whole new starting lineup. You know, and so I just you resist the temptation of like not scrapping everything that you watched for months in terms of preparation and practice and off season. And you hope that the things will turn and guys will start playing a little better, and then, you know, hopefully that translates into better basketball and winning games.
Do you guys have a game plan on Marcus Bagley's potential return at this point?
I want to give you a timetable, but I don't have that yet, and I'm still talking with Marcus, and we're getting closer to that point. And then, you know, once I know that, I will share that with everybody. But I don't have it in front of me yet, and I am getting closer to it.
When you have so many new players and you're trying to integrate everything, does it feel at all like there's puzzle pieces and you're trying to figure out kind of where they go? And is there an ability, do you think, for this team to get a lot better as the season progresses as a result of that?
I hope so. I mean, that's you know, we hope that how we challenge ourselves in the scheduling and you know, in the nature of that schedule, how tough it's been, you know, these guys have been in hard situations. It's not going to be, you know, any different tomorrow night. Tomorrow's going to be a really tough game, and they have a great record, and they're playing very well, and we played a lot of good teams that have been highly motivated to play us. So it's, you know, I think we've been in this situation before, but yeah, I mean, as guys start playing together and get more comfortable together with the number of new guys, you would assume that you know, we would start playing collectively better because guys are in just a better rhythm and they trust their teammates and they've had, you know, a lot of reps under their belt with their new teammates.
Obviously, you got two guys on the other side you know pretty well. What's that gonna be like, squaring off against those guys?
I mean, Holland was one of my favorite players that I coached. I've only 1 year with him, but he was just getting to know him and what he's all about and the type of person he is. And, you know, he was a guy last year, even through COVID. I think he and I were the only two that survived the whole season with you know, being at every practice and every game. So it was. Yeah, he's a great kid, and Tay and I have had a lot of good moments together as well. So it's you know, it'll be different, and you know, there's a lot of local guys on that roster that, you know, this game means a lot to, I would imagine. And you know, we have a couple, not as many. So getting these guys to understand that locally, you know, even though we have guys from Ohio and North Carolina and Rhode Island and everywhere, hey, you know, around here, fellas, this is a game that I'm sure, you know, Grand Canyon is going to be very enthusiastic to play.
Do you hear more from people in the university or in the community about Grand Canyon game than other games?
I haven't really talked to anyone that's brought up, you know, us playing Grand Canyon. I mean, I don't talk to a million people, but yeah, no one's really like brought that to my attention. Even this week, I haven't really talked about it.
They're a team that is pretty comfortable when they're playing slower than the bottom half in pace. Are we gonna expect to see a press earlier, or are you just gonna adjust on what they're doing when they come here?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of concerned about their transition game. To be honest, they have Miller Moore that could get out and very athletic. You know, Blackshear could really push, and you know, he's kind of the engine for those guys, just with, you know, how good he is off the dribble and his decision making. And so you know, we have to get back on defense. That's a major, you know, priority for us. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna try and rely on what we do and how we play, and certainly we've scouted them and walked them through a lot of stuff with regards to Grand Canyon. But yeah, we gotta be ourselves and play the way we play.
Coach, last year, even with COVID restrictions at GCU, you remember that atmosphere there was pretty crazy. It's finals week for ASU students. Do you have a message to students who might be on the fence about coming to this week's game?
Not really. I think the last time that I started getting involved with encouraging people to go to games, it didn't work out that great for me. So I'm just gonna sit back and hope for the best. And get my team ready to play. That's all I'm gonna think about. Everyone else has to make their own decisions.
Are you preparing your team for a rivalry game?
I want, you know, I want our guys just again to realize, you know, how important it is to Grand Canyon and what that game means for that team. And you know, we played a lot of high-level games against a lot of name brand schools already this year, and so I don't want human nature to show up where, you know, we just had a big win in overtime at Oregon and everyone's feeling great about themselves, and now all of a sudden we're not taking this opponent with the level of seriousness that we need to take them. So I've done the best I could to get that point across, get that message across, you know, to our team the last 48 hours.
Bobby, maybe it becomes more normal with the portal. Have you had this experience where you're coaching against guys the year after you coach them yet?
No, I haven't. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen certainly. You know, this won't be the first time, and I'm sure, you know, we might have a portal guy that goes and plays against someone that we're playing. So it's here to stay. Things like this will happen in the future, certainly.
What's that like, being a coach and having that happen? Because both of those guys yesterday talked kudos about you and how you were really supporting them, and that meant a lot to them.
Well, I mean, they feel like, you know, part of your family, and even though they have to make decisions that are best for them and their future, you support them and appreciate, you know, what they've done for you. I mean, you know, besides just, you know, being good kids, you know, Tayshawn and, you know, and Holland, you know, they gave me everything they had when they played. You know, they really did, and I still, you know, Holland went through a tough year and he battled through it with me, and Tayshawn, we had some other, you know, way more positive type seasons where I can remember him making defensive stops to help us win games versus our rival Arizona, and in other big games. So it's going to be different to see those guys, but really hope nothing but the best for them other than tomorrow night.
That's good.
Anything else?